Hi everyone, welcome back. So today in this video we are going to discuss about data types in Java. So today we are going to clear everything related data types. Okay, so listen my video very carefully, and at the end of that video you will get a deep knowledge on data types. So our today's agenda will be what is data types and how many types are there, what are the size of that particular types, etc., with some real-time example. So now let's start this data types topic. So first, what is data types? So basically, data types specify the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. Okay, data types specify the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. Now, in this line, if we read this line, there is lots of confusions in our mind that what are the different size we are mean, or what is the value which we are storing, so etc. So lots of confusion is there in my mind. So let's keep it side, and I will tell you some interesting things of data types, like the types related things. Then we will see that definitions, and then you will get a knowledge, or you will get a deep understanding that what are these what are that line says. Okay, so just for a line, or keep in mind like that data types specify the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. Means if I give you one very basic example, we can say, like, we are already seen that type of syntax or that type of line, like int a equals to 10. Okay, so int a equals to 10 means int, what is that, or what a is mean, or what 10 is mean. So that basically this is a data, this is a value, or this is a data, and this is a variable. So here a is the variable and int is the data types, means what type of data we are passing. Suppose one example, suppose let assume that you are a student. Okay, or in your childhood days. Okay, so there is some letters or some alphabet we have learned, like a, b, c, d, like that. Okay, now, so one of your master or one of your teacher has says that it's a letter, or it's a letter, or it's a letter, like that. Or we all know that A, E, I, O, and U, these are the vowel, right? And others, the 21 letters are the consonant. So how can I know that? So our teacher says that these are the vowel, these are the vowel, and apart from these five, other things are consonant, right? So that means we are mentioning this thing as a vowel. A, E, I, O, U. We are mentioning that, or we know that these are the vowel. So our teacher has teaches like that A, E, I, O, U is the vowel, or A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. These all are the letter, and like that, if we read, or if we write like cat, like that. So these are the word. Means we know that. How we know? Because our teachers teaches us that, like, this is a word, this is a word, and these are the letter, and in that letter these are the vowel, like that. Means same thing. So how can we know that? Int a equals to 10. So here int is the data type, means which type of data we are sending to our computer. That is the data type. So here a equals to 10. So means 10 is the integer type of data, and that is stored in the a variable. So my definition says that data types specify the different sizes and values that can be stored in the variable. Right? Means here int is the data type. Means we are sending that data type to our computer. and we are saying like that here a is the variable and 10 is the value. So means these value are stored, these 10 value are stored in that a variable, and this a variable is nothing but a integer data type. Or we can like say write that character char a equals to like um, anyone w, character c equals to w, right? Means c is the character type, c is the character data type, and the value is w. Means this w value is stored in that c variable, and the c variable is a character data type. Got it? So that's why the definition says that data types specify the different sizes and values that can be stored in the variable. Now this integer is a data type, character is a data type, like lots of data types are there. So I will cover everything, no worries. So this is the data types, this is the data types, and each and every data types has their different sizes. I will discuss. Okay. So integer has some different size, character has some different size, or lots of data types are there like float, then boolean. So like lots of data types are there. So these all are different sizes. Okay. And these are the values, and these can be stored in the variable. So this value is storing in that a variable, means 10 is the value which is storing in the a variable, and a is a integer or int data type. Same for w is a value which is stored in the c variable and which is a char data type. Okay, now clear that what do you mean by data types? So data types specify the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. Okay, now let next point is that data types mean we can easily, I mean, and clear one thing, we can clear that data types means there is lots of data are present. So the types of data types, so go to the, okay, so this is, so data types we have two types. Data types has two types. Data types has two types. One is primitive data type and another is non-primitive data types. So I am writing everything for you. So data types we have two types. So one is, okay, so data types has two types, and one type is primitive and another type is non-primitive. So one type is primitive, primitive, primitive data types, and the other type is, another type is non-primitive, non-primitive, okay, non-primitive. So data types has two types. One is primitive data types, other is non-primitive data types. Now, this primitive data types has two types. This primitive data types has two types. So this primitive data types has two types. So one is boolean. So one is boolean and another is numeric. So this one is boolean data type. So boolean, and this is the boolean. Another is what? Numeric. Okay. Another is numeric. Now this non-primitive data types has, so let's first cover that primitive data types. So data types has two types. One is primitive data types, another is non-primitive data types. And this primitive data types has two parts or two types. One is boolean and another is numeric. Now this boolean has one type only, and we can say it. So this is one type. Okay. So this is one type and this is Boolean. Boolean. It has one type, that is Boolean. Now, numeric has two types. Okay, so numeric has two types. What is that? What is that? Two types. So first one is that. So numeric has two types. So one is character. One is character. Character. And another is that integral. Integral. Okay. So one is character. Another is that integral. Now, this character has only one type. This character has only one type. Character has only one type. That we can say it's a char type. Okay. It's a char type. Now, go to the integral part. So, this integral has two parts or two types. One is integer and another is that floating point. Okay. So, these has two parts. These has two parts. Let me draw for you guys. Okay. So, one is integer. One is integer. Integer. And what is the another? The another is that floating point. Floating point. So integral has two parts. One is integer, another one is floating point. Now, this integer has four types. Okay. So this integer has four types. This integer has four types. Okay. So these are integer has 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So what are those four types? So one is one is byte. Let me write for you guys. One is byte. Okay. What is the second? Second one is that short. Now next, so byte and this is short. And then next one is that int. The next one is that long. So integer has four types. One is byte, short, int and long. Okay. And now go to the floating point. This floating point has again two parts. This floating point has two parts or two types. Okay. So what is that? This floating point has two types. So one is float and another is double. So one is float and the second one is that double. Okay. So these are the primitive data types. So these are the primitive data types. So primitive data types, we have two parts. One is Boolean and second one is numeric. So Boolean has one type that is called Boolean and the character has only one type that is called char. Okay. Now, so numeric two types, character and integral. So character has one type that is char and integral has two types. One is integer, second one is floating point. Now, integer has four types that is byte, short, int and long. And floating point has two types, float and double. Okay. Now go to the non-primitive part. So non-primitive parts, we have lots of types of non-primitive parts. So we have lots of types of non-primitive parts. Let me write for you guys. Okay. So first one we can say like string type. Okay. So I will give some example for you. Okay. So first one is that string type. String type. Then second is that arrays. These are all the non-primitive types, non-primitive data types. Then we can call as class. Then we can call like structure. Then we can call this like union, etc. etc. Okay, so non-primitive, we have lots of data types like string, arrays, class, structure, union, etc. etc. So these are the different types of data types. So mainly data types has two types. One is primitive data types and another is non-primitive data types. Primitive has two parts or two types. One is Boolean, another is numeric. Boolean has only the Boolean data type. Then character, then numeric. Numeric has two types. One is character, another is integral. So character has only one type, that is char. Now, integral has two types. One is integer and another is floating point. And integer has four types. That is byte, short, int, long. Then floating point we have two types. One is float, another is double. And now for the non-primitive data types, there is lots of types are there for non-primitive that we can say like string, arrays, class, structure, union, etc. etc. Okay, so these are the types of data types. Now I will tell you what are the different size. So in my definition, I've already told you data types specify the different sizes. So now we will discuss about all the size of different data types. Okay. Now first start with Boolean. Okay. So first start with Boolean. So what is the Boolean data type? Boolean data type size. So we can say Boolean has one size is 1 bit. Okay. Basically, there is no specific size for Boolean data types. So it's depend on JVM. Okay. So we can say that size preciously we can say not defined. Not defined. So JVM decides what will be the size for that. Decide. So JVM decide. We can say Boolean has 1 bit. Okay. Now go to character. So what is the character data type size? So character has 2 byte. 2 byte. Now one questions in your mind. For Boolean I have written 1 bit and the character I have written 2 bytes. Okay. So what is the difference between this bit and byte? Okay. So make sure 1 byte, 1 byte, okay, 1 byte is equals to 8 bits. Remember this one. 1 byte is equals to 8 bits. So 1 byte is equals to 8 bits. Now, so Boolean has 1 bit, character has 2 byte. Then go to the another one is that byte. Okay, so byte has 8 bit. 8 bits. 8 bit. Okay, 8 bit. Byte has 8 bit. Now short has 2 byte. 2 bytes. Now int has 4 byte. 4 byte. Now long has 8 byte. 8 byte. Okay. Then float has 4 byte. Then double has 8 byte. 8 byte. Okay. Now one more time. So boolean has, so basically there is no particular size for boolean. So boolean, the size is precisely not defined. So JVM will decide at his runtime that what will be the size for that boolean. But we can say yes, boolean has 1 bit. Okay. Then character has 2 byte. Then byte has 8 bit. Then short 2 bytes. Int 4 bytes. Long 8 bytes. Float 4 bytes, and double 8 bytes. So these are the different size of data types. Okay. So these are the different data types of data type size of for primitive data types. Okay. So boolean has 1 bit, character has 2 byte, then byte has 8 bit, short has 2 bytes, int has 4 bytes, long has 8 bytes, float has 4 bytes, double has 8 bytes. So these are the different size of primitive data types. And now go for non-primitive data types. So basically, so there is no particular size for non-primitive data type. Okay, there is no particular size for non-primitive data type. Why? I will let you know. Okay, but for the, so we can say that for the primitive data types, the size are fixed. For the non-primitive data types, the size are not fixed. Okay, for the non-primitive data types, the size are not fixed. Why? Why the size are not fixed? So I will let you know. Now, so I am taking one example for character data types, that why the size is fixed. So I am giving you example in here. Okay. So let's say char ch equals to let's say w. Okay, char ch equals to w. So what will be the size for that char? So we already know that char has, what is the char? 2 bytes. What is the size for char? It is 2 bytes, and it is fixed. It is fixed. Character, whenever we are declaring char c equals to w, means the size for that char will be 2 bytes. And same for if we write like int a equals to 2, a equals to 2. What is the value or what is the size of that integer data type or int data type? The size is 4 bytes. Size is 4 bytes. Means for the primitive data types, the size will be fixed. But what I told you, that for the non-primitive data types, the size are not fixed. Okay, why? Let's say one example like string. Let's say name equals to m, writing the name as Java. Okay. So string, what is the data type for that? For this is the string data type. Means this is a non-primitive data type. So Java, here Java is the value and which is stored in the name variable, and the data types for that name variable is string data type. So that is string name equals to Java. Okay. Now, so I have told you that non-primitive data types, there is no fixed size. Why? Because see, JAVA, 4 letters are there. Okay, 4 letters are there, means 4 characters are there. 4 characters are there. Okay, so one character, so for one character, the size is 2 bytes. For one character, the size is 2 bytes, right? So there is 4 character, means 2 into 4 equals to 8. Right, so 8 bytes. Here. Now, repeat once again. So string name equals to Java. So Java is a string type. Okay. And string is non-primitive data type. And in that Java, there are 4 letters. J, A, V, and A. So there are 4 letters or 4 character. So for one character, the size is 2 bytes. For one character, the size is 2 bytes. Now there are 4 character, means 2 into 4 means 8 bytes. So for that particular string name equals to Java, the stored value is 8 bytes. And now taking the same example, string name equals to, let's say I'm taking one name called testing. Taking one name called testing. Now in that testing, how many words or how many characters are there? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 characters are there. So for one character, the size is 2 bytes. So for 7 character, size will be 2 into 7 equals to 14 bytes. Now see one thing very carefully. The data types is same. Okay, but what we change? We change only the value. So after changing the value, the size are also changing. The size are also changing. So that's why I told you that there is no fixed size for non-primitive data types. So whatever value we are given, so as per the value, the size will be decided. Now, apart from the testing, I am only writing here string name equals to AB. Means only 2 characters are there. One is A, another is B. So for one character, the size is 2 bytes. For the 2 characters, the size will be 4 bytes. That means nothing is changing. That data type is not changing. Only the changing is value. And upon that value, the size is also changing. So that's why non-primitive data types has no fixed size. And guys, remember, make sure one interview, this is one very, very important interview question, like why there is no fixed size for non-primitive data type. Okay, so you have to remember that thing, and you have to tell to your interviewer that why there is no fixed size for that non-primitive data type. Now taking one example, let's say I'm taking another example called so I'm writing it here. Suppose int a equals to, it's a 10. Okay, int a equals to 10. So that is the non-primitive data type. A is the non-primitive, sorry, int is the non-primitive data, int is the primitive data type. So that is int. So int is the primitive data type. Okay. Now I am converting that to array. So int a equals to 10. How to convert this as an array? I am writing it like an array. So int, let's say int a like new int, can pass it like, let's say I'm passing it 4. Okay, passing it 4. So int a is the array equals to new int array 4. Okay, means whenever we are writing like this, with an array, by using array, then immediately one memory blocks will be allocated for you. So whenever we are writing like this, so one memory blocks will be allocated for you. So I am passing it here 4. That means the 4 space will be allocated for you. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 space will be allocated for you, because I am writing it here int a equals to new int a, array a equals to new int array 4, array of 4. That means here 4 space will be allocated, 4 blocks will be allocated. Clear? Okay. So now, so here, so we can say like that. So this is here is 4, here 4 will be allocated. and then again here 4 will be allocate, right? And again here 4 will be allocate, and again here 4 will be allocate. Okay, 4 4 4 4, total 4 block will be allocate for here. So total the 12 block will be allocated. Yes, total 12 block will be allocated, right? So we can say, so 1 4, so that is 4. So total 4 block will be allocated. As we are writing like this, we are putting like this: int a array equals to new int array of 4. That means total 4 block will be allocated for that, for this. That is 12. So the size will be 12 bytes. Okay. Sorry, that is 16. Let me write this again. So that will be 16. That will be 16. I'm deleting it once again. Okay. So okay. So that is a total 4 4 4 4. That means total 16, not 12. That is 16. So total 16 block will be allocated here. So total 16, size will be 16 bytes. Right? The size will be 16 bytes. I'm writing like this. So that will be 16. Okay. Now again I am, if I changing it like that, suppose I am changing it 4 to 5. So I'm writing it like that: int, let's say a equals to new int into array of 5. Array of 5. I'm writing like this. Array of 5 means again one another block will be added here. Another block will be added here, and that will be again 4. Right, total 5, because the array is 5. That means 4 4 4 4 4, total 5 blocks will be allocated for this. So now the value will be 20. So the size will be the 20 bytes. Is it? Means for as I'm told you, like for the non-primitive data types, there is no specific fixed size. Because okay, so there is no fixed size for non-primitive data type. It is decided at the runtime or when we are allocating that value. Then the size will be decided. Okay, so basically we can say that non-primitive data types are coming from the primitive data type, because you can say int a equal int a, or int a, that is array types equals to new int array of 4, right? So it's a types is array type. So this is a non-primitive data type, but here integer is a primitive data type. So non-primitive data types are basically, we can say, coming from the primitive data type or derived from primitive data type. So we can say that non-primitive data type is derived from primitive data type. So one important difference between the primitive data types and non-primitive data types are, so primitive data types, the size are fixed, and for the non-primitive data types, the size are not fixed. Okay, so basically non-primitive data types are derived from primitive data types. Okay, so clear. So now I am if I write like that, suppose writing like that, float is equals to suppose 1.2, like that, means it is a integer or it is a primitive data type. Okay, or if I write something like called string s equals to suppose welcome, so this is a non-primitive data type. This is a non-primitive data type. It should be double quote. Yeah, this is a non-primitive data type. Now let's see once again for that definition, that what do you mean by data types. So data types specify the different size, that we have already seen, that specify the different size, okay, and values that can be stored in the variable. So data types specify the different size and values that can be stored in the variable. That is called as data types. That is called a data types. Now you are very much clear about that, what is data types and what is primitive data types, what is non-primitive data types. So how we can and calculate the size of that non-primitive data types, etc, etc. Okay, so that is for today. So if you guys have any doubt, please comment me, I'll sort it out for you guys. If you guys like my video, one thumbs up, share this video to your nearest friends, and subscribe to my channel EduPaat and stay with me. So see you in the next videos with some another topic. Thank you.